We recognise the Kaurna people as the custodians of the lands and waters of the Adelaide region and pay our respects to elders past and present. We acknowledge and respect the Kaurna people's cultural, spiritual, physical and emotional connection with their land, waters and community, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and First Nations people. Hi.
Describe your career in 3 words.
Patchy, up and down.
What's it like having about 50 different jobs?
Exhausting. Getting more exhausting by the minute, I think.
What are your 50 different jobs?
Okay, so we've got academic, so researcher, teacher, supervisor, writer under Amy Matthews, writer under Amy Barry, podcaster, and parent.
I never know if I want to be you or if I'm afraid to be you.
Yeah. I'm a bit afraid to be me most mornings.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
How does it feel to be a podcast bro?
Oh, man, I feel like I'm not getting enough perks. I think they get a lot of perks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What perks would you want?
Oh, none that they have. See, I don't know that I need to go to a cage fight.
Right.
Yeah. Do I need to interview like one of the tech bros? Probably not. I'd rather be here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're better
Yeah.
than that.
They give us books, web books.
Yeah. More wholesome content. Good podcast bros. If you could be any colour, what would you be?
Yellow.
Of all of Amy Ann's upcoming monthly themes, which one are you most excited about?
I just can't not say smut in this moment. I'm excited for Smut Month.
I think that's fair, and I think a lot of people will agree.
Yeah.
When did you publish your first ever novel?
2011.
Nice. What song have you been listening to on repeat lately?
Geographer, and it's a cover of Age of Consent, which is an old 80s song, and it was the song I was listening to when I wrote Best, First and Last. And I had to do a playlist recently, which will be out when the book comes out. So there'll be a Spotify playlist, so I've been listening to that on repeat.
I can't wait to listen to it because you have really good taste in music.
Well, we have very similar tastes.
We
I'm not
do.
sure everyone else
Everyone
would have
will love
exactly the same taste as us.
Everyone will love it.
They will love it.
And if they don't, they're wrong. What recently published novel do you think will be considered a classic someday?
I can't answer this. I'm just going to say mine.
Yours.
All of mine.
Obviously.
Amy Barry, Amy Matthews, all of them. Because I can't think of an answer to that one.
I think that's the perfect answer, though. Do you think you could lie on a polygraph without getting caught?
No, I can't lie at all. At all. I'm famously unable to lie. And I think I supervise you, but I supervise a lot of people. And they can always tell. You can tell by my micro expressions even if I'm trying to lie.
That's a good
knows.
quality to have, though, I think.
Is it?
Honest. What is your most recently published novel?
Oh, I have to remember. I think it
Got,
was
like,
Marrying Off
US?
Morgan McBride, which came out in Australia, probably the Australian publication, which was, can't even remember now, July or August last year. But Best, First and Last is out in Australia. Amy Matthews' Best, First and Last is out in March 5th. And then Amy Barry's Seven Brides for Beau McBride is out in July.
Nice. It's hard when you're just published everywhere.
I know,
doing
it's too
everything.
much. Which country am I in? Who am I again? At least they're all Amy. They're all
That's
Amy
true.
now.
You've got some consistency. Yeah, we didn't make you come up with a different name for the podcast, so.
Yeah, well, that's easy.
Reading on the beach or reading in front of a cozy fireplace?
Fireplace.
What was your favourite book you read last year?
Oh, that's really tough. I read so many good books last year. I was really obsessed with Tia Williams' 7 Days in June. I've mentioned that every time anyone asks for a book rec. That's been it.
Nice. Why should people be part of the Amy Ann Book Club?
To have some fun, I think. I think it's just supposed to be good, plain fun with a bit of education mixed in, but mostly fun.
Nice. What are you reading right now?
I am reading so many PhD drafts right now. So I'm reading for Amy Ant, but other than that, I've just finished one and I'm starting another one tonight. And so I'm reading a lot of unpublished manuscripts.
Nice. Are they good or are they all bad?
They're pretty good. I have to say there's some times you read stuff and you're like, gee, I wish I'd written that. I wish I'd thought of that.
Nice. Have you ever accidentally became a fan of a Christian rock band?
I'm nervous about asking this because I publish in the US. So I have an answer for you, but I'll tell you off camera.
What part of the Amy Ann Book Club are you most excited about?
Hanging out with you guys.
Yeah. If you could erase any genre from existence, which would you choose and why is it self-help?
Yeah, I think a bunch of us can talk about this. Mostly the worst books I can think of are bad self-help. Like really misogynistic self-help books or diet books or, yeah, I'm with you on that. Self-help's pretty toxic.
We'll leave that to the other podcast bros.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think like torture porn, anything that mixes graphic sexual violence with arousal, I find really deeply disturbing.
Which member of Amy Ann would live the longest in the apocalypse?
Abby,
Yeah.
hands down, survivalist with her dragon.
True.
You could hunt for her and everything, right?
Who would die the soonest?
Me.
No, don't doubt yourself like that. What should be the name of our group chat?
Oh, you have to have the word random in it because I never know what's coming. I never know if I'm opening up to something very intellectual or just really weird. Random weirdness.
Nice. What is the best book and wine pairing you can think of?
Oh, that's hard. Can you throw me a genre and I'll think of a wine? How about
romance.
that? Romance. What kind, like rom-com? Let's do romance genres.
Yes.
And wine pairings.
Yes.
Okay, well, rom-com's got to be champagne, right? Bubbly, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do Prosecco, but I think, it probably has Prosecco vibes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Who is your dream guest on the podcast?
Oh, that's hard. Oh, I don't know. Author? Maybe editors. I would like to get editors from like all these different publishing houses and ask them about books.
That's a really good idea.
Do you think
Someone
tell
put
us
that
their
in the
secrets?
Google Doc. Yeah.
Put that in the random weirdness, people.
Yeah.
Of all of your books, which one would you redo?
Good question. Do you know I would have said Bound for Eden, except Abby messaged me recently to say she'd read it. So I was like, oh, I've been thinking it's like dated terribly because the sexual politics is probably, it's not terrible, but it's old, like it's an old book. And then I went back and reread it and I was like, this has got some energy that I think I've lost sometimes that I liked. So I don't know that I would redo it.
Would you ever reopen the Tesla Sue name?
Well, I think Amy Barry's in the vein. It's a bit different. I like the Amy Barry voice more. I think it's more fun. Like, I liked everything Tesla Sue did, Amy Barry can do, but it's even funnier, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone thinks they're funny, but I think they're funny.
Would you ever write a fantasy?
Oh, yeah. Do you mind one of the first books I ever wrote was a fantasy book?
When did you write it?
I was like 14, and I wrote it in these exercise books, and it just got, it gets so complicated. I was like, I don't know how to finish this. So
Do you still have it?
probably somewhere.
You should edit it.
I should edit
Finish
it.
it. What
It's just a
name would
rip-off
your
of it.
fantasy self
Oh,
be?
good one. Oh, yeah, new pseudonyms. That's a question I want to ask everyone. Everyone's got to get back here. What's a good pseudonym? That's a really hard question.
Yeah. Family names?
I've used a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've used so many of them. I'd probably stay Amy because you can answer to it when people call your name.
True.
Yeah, darling. I'll be Amy Darling.
Amy Darling.
That's
I like that.
What would you be?
Oh, God, I don't know. Oh, my middle name's Beth.
I like the name Beth.
Yeah. I feel like I can't reuse Peyton because it's so specific.
It's very specific, unless it was the surname, Beth Payton.
Yeah. Or if it was like P. Beth. I don't know.
P. Beth.
Maybe not.
Maybe not that.
That's me. I write sentient object romance novels. If you had to write a sentient object romance novel, what object would you choose?
What object would you pick for a sentient object for romance?
My idea is oobleck, so you can't steal that.
What is that?
You know the substance that's soft when things sink into it, but if you hit it, it goes hard?
Well, that seems very functional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I can top that, Peyton. I think that's
Come on.
That's amazing. That's so good. No, I definitely can't top
one.
you should. Don't no one steal that.
Yeah, that's my
That's
idea.
Peyton's TM.
We can co-write that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.